to Apothecary After Dark.
Welcome to Apothecary After Dark. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Dina. We're the co-owners of Amityville Apothecary. You ever wonder what happens when we shut off the lights and lock the doors of Amityville Apothecary? What we talk about when nobody's around? What we think about all things metaphysical and witchy? Well, stay tuned because we have some really fun topics for you. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Apothecary After Dark, a podcast of Amityville Apothecary where we shut the door, roll down the shade, and get real. My name is Dina, and I'm here with my business partner in crime.
Hello, I'm Dani.
Welcome. So we just got back from Phoenix, Arizona. Not exactly a convenient place to get to if you live on the East Coast, unfortunately.
Correct, but I love Arizona. It's one of my favorite states.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun, and with the weather that we were having at the time, it was a really nice getaway. And we went to the Hay House I Can Do It conference.
Yeah. This is our second time attending. Last year it was down in Tampa, and then this year it was in Phoenix.
Yeah.
So we figured out the flight schedule and finally arrived, and it was 3 days of jam-packed content, and I even did a writer's workshop.
Yeah.
Before the big conference started, which was really cool. We had great exposure to meet tons of authors and attendees and people that are beginning their spiritual journey to seasoned professionals.
Yeah.
So we have their books and decks and everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the big names of people, authors and creators that we carry here in store. I mean, talking about Gabby Bernstein, Jim Quick, Brendan Burchard, Sonia Coquette,
Rebecca Campbell, Bradley Valentine, Abiola Abrams.
Oh my gosh, Mia Magic.
We were hanging out with Madame Pamita, who's one of our favorite authors and creators, and she actually just got signed by Hay House. She's published a number of things through Llewellyn, and we had a lot of great quality time with her and her friend Divine Jim, who's a very talented palmistry artist. So we had a ton of fun and laughs.
A ton of fun, a ton of laughs, but it was really nonstop, like getting there at 8:30 in the morning and not leaving until 9 o'clock at night for, 3 days. It's a lot of work, but we wanted to sort of go over and give you guys a little bit of a recap, and who knows, maybe next year you'll want to attend for yourself and we could see you there because we know we will definitely be back. Yeah. But we wanted to talk about how, we are sitting in a gigantic room of over 1,000 people, maybe almost 2,000 people.
2,000, yeah.
Almost 2,000 people. And there on the stage in front of you is Gabby Bernstein or Rebecca Campbell or, Jim Quick. Basically like the superstars of the metaphysical, the spiritual development,
personal
development world. Yeah. And, you get starstruck, It's so funny because a lot of times people come and see us and be like, oh my God, it's you guys. Like we see you on TikTok or we see you on the podcast and they get starstruck, but we're the same way. Like we see these people and they've been, at least for the past 5 years, even more for as long as we've been on our journey. Yeah. It's like, wow, there they are, the people who have written these books that have made such an impact on our lives. Like
I've been using Bradley Valentine's decks forever.
Yeah.
And Chris Ann is a creator of my favorite deck, which is the Lightseers Tarot. So I got to, see her again, second year in a row, and just say how much I love and enjoy her deck. And Dina took a session with her this time.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. She did an amazing exercise where she had all different brightly colored envelopes, and in every single envelope was a tarot card. And she had us go up into the front of the room and pick the envelope. And there were different colors. There was like bright lime green and bubblegum pink and sunshine yellow. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but Because she's an artist. She's an artist,
That's
and it was
fun.
artfully done, I have to tell you, and very pleasing to the eye.
Yeah.
So she had you go to the front of the room and pick a brightly colored envelope. And the envelopes were different sizes too. So it's interesting to see where people went and what they chose. And I don't remember what I was wearing, but I chose a bright green, like lime green chartreuse envelope.
Yeah.
And so we sat next to our we went back to our seat with our little envelopes, and here we are thinking that we're going to open it. And she says, now you're going to get a partner and you have to switch envelopes.
Okay.
And I was like, well, wait, I just picked this, right? And she basically said, okay, you're going to open the other person's envelope and you're going to give them a tarot reading, because they were all tarot cards, one tarot card in every single envelope. And now it was really interesting because you immediately saw everybody start to bug out, right? Because there were a lot of people that never read tarot before.
Sure.
And, we've said this before, and a lot of people say it when they come into the shop, but tarot is, or can be, intimidating. It's 78 cards.
Yeah.
And she used all of the cards. They were all in there, right? So she has a switch, and she's like, okay, you're going to give your partner a tarot reading. Now, I didn't know. I wound up reading Jim. I had just met him. Mm-hmm. I think that was the first session in which we actually all sat down, I think. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't, but I think it was. And we sit down, and I'm like, I got to give this guy a tarot reading. I'm sitting next to a guy who reads tarot and is a friggin' palm reader. And on the other side of him, and the other side of him is friggin' Madame Pamita.
Who wrote books about
tarot.
tarot.
And I got to sit next to these people and give a fucking tarot reading. Excuse me. This is supposed to be PG-13. Beep. Well... I literally was like sweating.
Okay.
I was like, I can't believe I have to do this. I can't believe I have to do this. No, so I'm like, spidey senses activate. So I literally sat there. And also, by the way, I do need to tell you that I hate talking to people at conferences. We're going to circle back to that, but you guys need to remember this point that I don't like speaking to people at conferences. I don't like it. Like, I don't even like, hi, my name is, I work at. Like, if people like, hi, I'm like, oh no, they're talking to me. Like,
you did very good this conference.
I'm like, please put a cloak of invisibility, Harry Potter. Like, I don't want to talk to people. So I'm like holding this envelope, and I'm like, spidey senses activate. I'm like trying to like Reiki through the envelope to try and figure out, I'm like, okay, what card is in here? And literally, guess what? I swear to God, I'm not like pulling your leg. The card came. I'm like, this is like either the 6 or the 8 of cups for sure. Like, I just got like a vibe. I got a vibe. I'm like, it's definitely a cups. It's like a 6 or an 8. I'm like, I know where I'm going with this. And I literally, she goes, okay, now you open the envelope. And I go like this, and I just like, because you can't show your partner. And I look, and I'm like, holy fuck. Again, that's F-bomb number 2. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. I'll make a PJ. I was right. And then I was like this. Damn, okay. No, I'm kidding. But then I did the reading, and then he read me. And it was like, he was nervous. This guy reads tarot professionally, and he was nervous.
Yeah.
So like that made me feel like, you know what? Like, we're not all so different. You're professional. Yeah. Like, everybody felt like a little bit nervous. Like, you're on the spot. Everybody's like stepping out of their comfort zone, which is like literally the point of like a spiritual and personal development conference, to step out of your comfort zone. And I have to speak to people even though I don't want to.
Well, he was pretty shook by like your interpretation, your reading of him. He complimented you about how accurate it was.
Yeah, I have a couple of party tricks up my sleeve, and like I call it bat echo location psychic ability. And what that means,
it's a formal term.
Yes, it's my. I'm gonna make a conference workshop. Actually, I'm not, but if I did, this is what it would be. It would be called bat echo location psychic ability. So what I do is, if I feel like reading somebody psychically, I throw my energy against their energy, and then catch it when it bounces back. And how that feels is how I'm able to read them.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So like, it's like how a bat flies by echolocation. That's how I use, like, that's my spidey senses. And I basically push my, I don't know if it's my aura, my energy field or whatever, out against somebody. And then, because like when you're an empath, you could feel people's stuff.
Well, I'm very clairsentient, so that's how I feel.
Right, and people are like, I take on other people's stuff, right? I use it as like one of my main psychic things is I just like chuck my energy at something and see how I feel when it comes back at me. And I'm like, I know this energy.
All right, well, keep doing that because it's obviously working.
So it was cool. And it was like, you know, I think like we all need these little like wins to be like, oh, actually like I can do this no matter what it is. So that was, but to be in a room with Chris Ann, who by the way is so cool.
Yeah.
Like she's so cool. She's so talented. Like what a fangirl.
So approachable and lovely.
Like,
and they're all friends too.
Oh my gosh. So good.
It's a really nice community.
Oh my gosh. Like it was amazing.
So let's go back to like the fact that you don't really feel comfortable engaging people. I'm very proud of you for doing that because you totally stepped outside your comfort zone.
People are literally like, but you literally go on rants on social media without makeup and like we'll talk to, I absolutely will.
Yeah.
For me, talking to my phone, like talking to people through the phone in like the privacy of either my house or the shop or like where I feel comfortable, for me is completely different than having to like meet people for the first time one-on-one.
Right.
When I feel I don't know where I am. So like when I'm in a situation like the conference, like I've never been there before. I don't know the room. I don't know the vibe. I don't know the air. I don't know where the water is. I don't know where the bathroom is. And then there's like 2,000 people in there. I'm like, okay, I'm paralyzed.
But you did very good. So,
I tried.
Yeah. So for the sake of people who are still like getting to know us, Dina actually had posted a social media post about this, and it's very accurate. So Dina and I complement each other in so many ways. So you often see her on social media like being more in the face of the cameras, and I'm a little more timid with that, or like back office, or like I'm fine ceding the stage to everybody else. And Dina's like, just go for the camera, and I'm like,
like just say something, like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But then I feel awkward, and sometimes I'm just less inclined to do it. But my old career was in advertising sales in Manhattan, New York City, and I worked with very high-level executives, and like it was my mission to know how to work a crowd of thousands of people.
Can you work a crowd?
Yeah, honestly, it's just I think it's one of my innate gifts.
Yeah.
Because I just figure out that's the person I need to meet, and I will sit right there. I will walk right up, warmly greet them with and just, hi, I'm Danielle. It's nice to meet you, and engage with conversations. So when I met Madame Pamita and Jim, I was on my way to the conference, waiting at Starbucks for my coffee, and I saw that they had lanyards, and I go, which way do I have to walk to get to the conference center? I wasn't even there yet. And they go, oh, you're going too? And I saw her name, Madame Pamita. I go, oh, we did an author talk with you. Yeah. I'm Danielle from Amityville Apothecary. And from that, we became instant friends.
Amazing.
So I spent the whole day with them. It was wonderful. And then I said to Dina, okay, we have friends. I'm not in the same session, but they're in the same session as you. They're second row. We have a seat waiting for you. And we facilitated in that way.
Yeah, it was so good.
Because you are not as comfortable.
Oh my gosh.
I talk to
everybody. She's literally like, she'll sit down there and she'll be like, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm Danielle. Oh, by the way, you like that bracelet? We gave you that bracelet. And I'm like this.
Yeah, I do, but it's fun. And it's what I enjoy because I love those interpersonal connections. Yeah. And that's the beauty of attending those types of events.
Absolutely.
Because it's just everybody, there's people who are attending their very first event of this kind who are just experiencing a spiritual awakening or they're healing from something of some sort, to the most steeped and experienced professionals, all mixing and mingling, all just dropping their egos and having humble experiences of life. And that's what it's all about, like people that have the experiencing, just helping. So there was this girl, I wasn't going to attend this one session because the three of them were attending Radley Valentine's session.
Who, of course, Danielle adores, which
I love and adore. He's like a highlight of mine. He specializes in angels. He's helped me through a lot. Last year I attended his session. He did a reading for me in the crowd that my dad came through right after he had died. Like, it was very profound. But I was like, I'm just going to join you guys in Radley's session. And she goes, Danielle, you were scheduled in Sonia Choquette's
Oh, she's so
session.
amazing.
And I go, yeah, but, you know, I can never go wrong with Radley. She goes, I'm telling you, you better go. She didn't tell me anything about the session.
I went the year before, and she was one of my favorites.
Honestly, I was such a convert, and I'm so grateful that I went. And this is why everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. I went solo. I sat front and center. I think I was row like 4 or 5. The girl right in front of me, it was like her first experience. Her friends are loving her. And Sonia like gave her a book through the crowd. And then she goes, we're going to get up and we're just going to be joyful. And we went through this whole dance where you have to change your physical position every like
breath,
every breath in, where you're literally doing these macro movements. But by the end of that 3 minutes, every single person was dancing, laughing, joyful. Yeah. There was zero there was no guard up, and you can just tap into the pure essence of humanity.
Yeah.
And that's what she teaches on. And I was like, wow, what a cool experience.
So cool, right?
It's amazing. And I'm very grateful that you said, no,
like you have
to
go
do there.
She really, because what we try to do is there are concurrent sessions. So there's like your main stage sessions where we're together, and then there's like breakout sessions where there's multiple speakers speaking at once. So we try to, go to different places so we can then bring back the experiences to each other, bring back the experiences to the shop, and really speak more, in depth and eloquently about the materials that the authors that we carry in shop provide. Yeah. So when, people come in and say, I'm looking for something on X, Y, and Z, we could say, oh my gosh, you have to try Sonia or you have to try Radley, because we've learned from them in person, and it does make such a big difference. But I was like adamant that Danielle had to try this.
I loved it. So good. The girl next to me, we shared very intimate, aspects of our life, how she wants to, one of her life passions is to dance. And then here we are dancing, and we wound up hugging at the end.
So sweet.
It was really beautiful. It was just a beautiful moment of humanity. And I'm really grateful that I went. And, sometimes we need that little push.
Yeah.
But another event that I attended, another session, was Rebecca Campbell.
Now, Andrew told me that Rebecca had you do the exercise. It was the same exercise.
Healing the mother wound.
I had done the year before, where you look into the eyes and you keep,
It was so deep. Mm-hmm. So Rebecca Campbell has numerous books as well as oracle decks.
Light is the New Black, Rise, Sister, Rise.
So the Rose Oracle deck is all about the maternal bloodline and how we all go back and back and back and back to the mother line, and we all are one from the great mother and Mother Earth. And she did this meditation and chant that included movement as you see fit, and it was so powerful. We were all crying. We did a visualization. It was it moved me to the soul, to the core. Yeah. It was the first time she actually shared this particular exercise in such intimate details after she experienced trauma, and then she created the deck. And I've always felt connected to the deck, but this just took it to a whole new level. And I also have maternal issues and traumas that required healing. So I was like, oh, this is going to get heavy, but it's very, very healing. And then I went out afterward to thank her for the session and to get her to sign a deck. And she was pulling cards for everyone, and mine was healing the maternal mother wound. It was like the mother line. And I was like, you can't get more perfect than
more
that.
Confirmation.
And it was one of the cards from the deck. And it was just, and I met sweet Andrew, who became a dear friend. He was an attendee, but you just meet really miraculous people from all over the country and all over the world. And, he'll definitely be coming up and visiting us too.
Oh, for sure. He's also a gifted tarot reader. Such a sweet soul. I had gone into Radley Valentine's session, and I do, we talked about this. I'm not like a huge angel person. I do call on Archangel Michael. And I'm like, okay, but Danielle loves Radley Valentine. So I'm like, I'm going to go into session. And it was the most real I've ever seen. He is a well-known and well-respected teacher. And yet he basically got up on that stage and gutted himself and was like, we are all learning on this journey. We all go through hardship. Like, I didn't even know who I was. I was in this codependent relationship. You know, I'm finally coming back to joy. And like, here we are. Like, I think we all forget that because they're spiritual teachers, spiritual leaders, you know, in personal development, that they have everything figured out. Or maybe you guys think that we have everything figured out. Please don't ever think that.
And Gabby Bernstein said the same thing with the work that she's doing. It's really amazing to see how she's grown.
It's almost like you're creating as you're healing. You're creating as you're working through. And I think that's so important for every single one of us on spiritual or magical journey to remember and to keep in mind that we don't begin a practice or craft or ritual in perfection. It's practice, 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 and we're learning about ourselves as we go. That's why we do this work.
Yeah. And also, you don't have to wait until you know all the things to be able to share with others, because your healing journey and your experiences can help other people. Because usually we're not unique, and that by sharing vulnerably and honestly, there are other people that can relate and can learn from your experience, and you might be able to help inspire them or help them along their journey with a different perspective that they might not have even considered, or if they're seeking guidance for their own journey, like how they might go about it. So that's what I had as like a huge takeaway. Yeah.
And then they inspire you in their honesty and their vulnerability. I think we owe it to each other to be honest and to be vulnerable about, you know, everything that we're going through in life, because I think there's an epidemic of feeling lonely and disconnected. And I think we all crave the same thing. We all crave connection and to be seen and to be heard and to be appreciated for who we are, even in this moment of imperfection. Like, because we all sort of feel like something can be quote unquote improved upon, but we are who we are in this very moment in time. We have to work with what we got.
Absolutely. I mean, when you said that, that reminded me of Brene Brown, The Gift of Imperfection.
Yeah, such a great...
is one of my favorite books that helped me enormously. But listen, we can go on and on and on. They're actually offering recordings of all of those sessions publicly. Hay House was founded by Louise Hay, who is... She started when she was 60, and in her 80s, she was still writing books. And it's one of the largest publishing houses dedicated to personal growth and development. And You Can Heal Your Life. And then Dr. Wayne Dyer. I mean, there's so much, but...
check out those recordings.
Yeah, check out the recordings. And if you want to dive deeper, there's so many makers like Abiola Abrams, with... Yasmin Boland for Moonology, Today's the Eclipse, and like that was really cool to learn directly from her. So we do have all the books and decks here. Feel free to call upon us, to come here to shop, to ask us questions for the areas of interest that you want to delve deeper into, because it was really, really moving, and those personal connections take it to a whole new level. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for joining in on another episode. As always, we want to hear from you. What topics should we be covering? What are you curious about? What spiritual question or magical questions you have from us? Drop us a comment and share with your friends. Sharing is caring. Subscribe. Find us on social media, Amityville Apothecary, all the places, Facebook, Instagram, the TikTok.
Yeah, feel free to come and visit us. People love a good road trip here, and we love to meet you all. So
exactly.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Thanks for joining us. Thanks so much for listening to us today. We look forward to connecting with you again soon, so be sure to come back for the next episode.
And make sure to follow us on social media. It's the fastest way you can get in touch with us at Amityville Apothecary, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And of course, subscribe to this podcast. We are eternally grateful for your support.